This is not going to be your average lecture. It's going to be a different one. I hope it's exciting and interesting. And I tend to talk very quick. So just, hey, Ernest, what did you say? Because my Spanish accent, I'm from Mexico. It can be sometimes very difficult to follow. But English is okay for everybody, right? No problem, nothing? Okay. So, then let's get started. More people will probably come. I was told that 15 minutes was enough. I mean, it's already more than 15 minutes, so let's start. No? This is what we're going to do today, hopefully, if everything goes okay. So I'm not going to go through the agenda because it's quite a lot. And it will depend also about you and your energy, and we will see it through the day, okay? Hello guys, welcome. Here is also space. Come. So, this lecture or workshop, it's about business modeling or business models. Before I explain what business models are, let me tell you about some real life examples. And since I'm coming from Impact Hub Zagreb, who knows what Impact Hub Zagreb is? Okay, this is a collaborative space on Blanska. We have it's a space for entrepreneurs, an incubator. And we are supporting entrepreneurs, supporting freelancers, and also different people who are running their own organizations or who are starting their organizations. So this is some of the workshops that I'm giving to them. And I'm focusing on business models for social impact. But business models can apply for any organization, if it's for-profit, non-for-profit, any organization, and we will see more details later. But real-life examples, and I'm going to give you some examples of our members from Impact Hub Zagreb or other people who have been around the Impact Hub Zagreb. Anybody has heard about Humana Nova? Nobody. Humana Nova, this is a company from Čakovec. It's actually a Sadruga, a cooperative, right? So this Sadruga, they saw an opportunity in the market, and they saw that there were a lot of people unemployed in Čakovec. And this place is obviously not a lot of opportunities in terms of economic opportunities, so they decided to make their own organization, their own business. So they also saw another problem, which is a lot of leftovers from the textile industry. So they say, why don't we collect these leftovers? We recycle this textile industry leftovers, and then we convert it into something new. So we hire people who otherwise wouldn't be hired, like people with disability or socially excluded persons. I'm talking about people about 45, 50 years that it's difficult if they get fired. It's difficult to get hired again. So they saw an opportunity in the market from the ecological point of view. So recycling textiles and also hiring people or training people with disabilities. So they opened this Sadruga, and they are running it. They are now going to open a representative place in Croatia, in Zagreb. They are now in Čakovec. This is an example of a business. Another example is these guys. Who from you are from FER University, this faculty? Yeah, okay. Okay, I would like to know more about you. Okay, so we have, which other faculties we have here? Who are you from?
We are the biology.
Biology.
Janet.
The three of you?
Yes.
Here.
I'm economics and business.
Economics? Something different?
Humanities.
Humanities? Business. Somebody else from a different one?
Design,
cool.
Introverted.
Also design?
Yeah.
Okay, guys. And here? Business, economics. Okay, this is pretty diverse. Like it. This example is very much, probably some people from FER will know it, I don't know. These guys are from Rijeka, and they built this device. It's kind of two sides of a smartphone, and it's a piece of hardware. So you can communicate with this device. It's called Servus, and you actually talk to Servus. You say, Servus, turn on the lights, and Servus connects wirelessly with your lights, and then the lights are on. Servus switch off the light, and then it goes off. Servus change my computer, my channel. It also connects with your TV. Servus change the channel. Servus turn on my computer, go to internet, and so forth. So these guys in Rijeka developed this device, which is 10 times less expensive than the competition in Europe, and they are offering it to people with disabilities or with wheelchairs, or people whoever would like to control their house via voice. That's sorry? Sounds like a cool thing. Only?
To the people who are lazy.
Yeah, why not? I mean, there is a market for that. So this is an example of a business. Let me tell you another two business very quickly. Yes. Let's take Yoda face out. So good. Go back. It works now. It works. Oh yes. Oh. Right. So we have a fourth one, third one. So the next one, okay, I'm going to use that. Okay. So this is the third example about Roda. So I'm telling you examples of businesses in Croatia. And Roda, who have heard about Roda? Roda. Yes, thank you very much. So Roda, these guys are from Zagreb, and they decided to produce a company that are making cloth diapers, the ones that you rewash and then reuse again. So they saw an opportunity in the market because there was no such a thing. And if you do the math, I'm a father of a daughter of 1.5-year-old. It's actually less expensive versus if you buy disposable diapers. And besides, you are producing less pollution. So that's a business which is happening right now in Croatia. And why I'm telling you all these businesses, because those are different businesses that can happen here in Croatia and can make money or can make also a sustainable impact in the society. So it's not only about, making money, it's important, it's interesting, you can pay your own salary, but it's also about going a little bit farther by, tackling a problem in the market. This is the last one, and I'm going to tell you about this because these guys are from Czech Republic, but this model, I talked to some of them, they are 23 years old, well, 2 years ago they started the business. And now they want to scale it and they want to pass this model to different cities. So what they saw, they don't have, they didn't have a job, but they saw an opportunity. They saw a lot of homeless in Czech Republic, in Prague. They also figured out and realized that the homeless know every corner of the city. So they thought, why don't we give a training? We train them and they become city guides. So they are now guiding tourists through Prague, and they charge an interesting amount of money above the average because a homeless who knows everything will tell you stories at every corner of Prague. And they're making money now after 2 years. So it's not about using them, it's about training them, it's about giving them, empowering them to earn something else. That's what I call a business, a complete full business. They make money, but apart from that, they also help the society by giving homeless an opportunity. How cool is that? And it's possible. They are 23 years old. They didn't know anything about businesses. It's just an opportunity, and they discover, explore a little bit, and then they make it. Cool. But I guess the majority of you are here because of Smartup, right? Do you know what Smartup is? They should know, right? Okay. Are you going to apply with an idea or not? No? Where we finished? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have an idea already? Raise your hand who has an idea. And the others are looking for inspiration, huh? Okay, I can give you some inspiration here. Okay, we can go very detailed or not in this part, but what basically the idea review means is that before you apply for any contest like Smartup or the other contest that we, for instance, in Impact Outside have, which is Social Impact Award, it's a slightly similar contest. So if you cannot make it in one, you can apply to another. Right? There is opportunity. Smartup is given an award of how much at the end?
12,000 for the first place.
12,000 kuna first place.
Yeah.
And it's only idea based. You ask for a business plan?
For the application now.
For application. Cool. So if you apply, and if you manage to go to the second round, you can apply with an idea.
Yeah.
The application is not that difficult, I guess. It's just an idea. And then later you develop a little bit more if your idea gets selected. So ideas, criteria, I guess it goes in terms of feasibility of the idea, the innovativeness of the idea.
Yeah, and the business model canvas also, and the 1 minute video.
1 minute video. That's so easy. Business model canvas at the end of today you will be experts. So. Cool. And I put this one about idea review because it's not only about applying with, oh yeah, yesterday I got something. It's applying with something that makes sense. And that's why we are here with the business model canvas, to give you a bit of a basis of how to make a business model canvas, how to apply the business model canvas to develop your idea a little bit better. Right? And ideas are nothing without execution. Ideas are super cheap. If very often people come to the Impact Outside and we ask them, oh, so you want to be a member of the hub? Because in order to be part of the hub, you have to become a member, and then you have access to the space, you meet other people, because it's not only about having access to the space, but also network, also access to content in Impact Outside. But sometimes people come and say, some of the first things we ask, what is your idea about? Oh, I would rather don't tell you. Why? Well, because, people can steal ideas, and I tell them immediately, man, you know what? I think that's bullshit. And they say, what? What do you mean? Well, don't get me wrong, but ideas are just nothing if you do not apply them. Ideas without execution means zero. When you are on the track and you have already some momentum with your idea and you are developing some IP, intellectual property or copyrights, then your idea starts, it's not your idea anymore, but it's becoming something different. Then is when you start protecting it, if you need to. But when the idea, in the idea phase, when you just the idea yesterday, or the idea is just on paper, it's just worth nothing. But what is interesting here is that you can use a business model canvas to develop it a little bit. And other tools and methodologies, but we're going to focus on that. And ideas, potentially, the guys from eSTUDENT, Smartup competition, will evaluate the idea based on solving problems. I help the guess, and the ideas also mean nothing if they don't answer a need in the society. Unless you are Steve Jobs and invent the iPhone and nobody uses it. Nobody did it before and now everybody has it. But ideas have to answer a problem. Ideas are to answer, to tackle something in the market. Is it to solve a problem? Is it to make life easier? Whatever. But at the end of the day, you are solving a need, solving a problem or answering needs in the community, in the market out there. I'm gonna pass this one, and I'm gonna go through business modeling session right now. That was a bit of the intro. It wasn't too much, I took like 10 minutes. And now, each one of you, this is my friend, Mr. Pick. You have in front of you Post-its. So I would like you to visualize this guy, Mr. Pick, and sketch out 3 business models where this guy takes the main act. What does that mean? So take 3 post-its and put there an idea of a business that you will do if you will have this guy in your garden or 10,000 of these guys in your garden. So making a business out of a pig. Think about the pig. They are nice, they are cute, but you can also eat the meat. If you are vegetarian, okay, then you can use them as therapy, whatever. So think about the pig, the properties it uses, and make 3 business ideas out of it. Write it down, okay? Is it clear? Individual, 3 ideas per person, no group yet. So, our pigs, we have 6 pigs. You can use pigs, you can reincarnate pigs, whatever you want to do. You can even interbreed the pigs. Just think about this guy. This guy should be the main actor in your 3 post-its. So at least 3 ideas. If you are super creative like the guys behind, right, Victor? That's individual. So you can also give me 3 post-its, 10 post-its with 10 ideas. One idea per poster. Think about this, what you do with things. Can be also 1. But at least 3, please. It can be in Croatian, but if you explain to me, it should be in English. My Croatian is not that good. One idea per post-it. Let's go crazy.
One idea per post-it.
Yes. Okay, you have 2 more minutes. Okay, I think you are ready, huh? Okay, I need volunteers. Yes, please.
Our first idea is for using for the village tourism.
So, what's your name? Mattia is using it for tourism.
Yes.
What? How? Explain.
We can have about 100 of these pigs on some, I don't know, some village.
People can go inside a bar, instead of circus now with pigs.
Not circus, but if you want to have some enjoying with animals,
Yes.
and you can go there and look for these animals and enjoy it.
Great. What's the next idea?
Next idea is meat producing, ecological idea. And the third idea is for team building.
Team building.
Yes.
We're going to open laser tags and the pigs are going to play with them. Usually, team building. Cool, guys. Who else? Please.
Okay, so we have pigs can find to feed the mushroom, the grows on the
Yes, it's very tasty, I think.
Yeah, we can run some pigs to do that.
Yes.
We can
Sniffing the pepper.
we can have pigs like in the countryside.
Yes.
Having like the huskies, 5 or 6 families in their cars, you can ride around.
Especially, yes, that's cool. During summer, because they won't bear the winter, but they can.
Just in the summer.
Yes.
And waste to disposal to feed the pigs.
Because they eat everything.
Because they eat everything, and then they create compost, and also you can use the meat and use the fat for the fuel.
And you can use the manure for fertilizer.
Yeah, that's the compost. Yeah.
So he's thinking about putting a pig in your sink of the house. You give him everything, and it's a food processor organism. Yeah. Thank you. Good. Who else over here? Yes.
I have here this big race.
Guys, what?
Big race.
Big race.
Yes, you have a lot of pigs in one place, and you could come and bet on.
Why nobody has done that? If they do it in Islo and close to Monte with donkeys, why don't they do it with humans?
I think it would be fun.
And you should apply that.
And pigs will also run a lot and exercise, so therefore they produce healthier meat.
Awesome.
That's
Next idea?
I have cleaning the crops. If you have polluted crops
Yes.
with some bugs or something, and let's say they like those bugs, maybe we could let them
Eat
on
whatever.
crops and they eat whatever is bad.
Good.
And the first one is the obvious one, is the pig farm.
Pig farm.
Yes.
I'm glad you are not only choosing pig farm. Yes, please.
I also have the idea
Pig farm?
to train pigs to search for truffle.
Yes.
Breed miniature pigs and sell them as pets.
Miniature pigs.
Yeah, so they don't grow.
If people have chihuahuas, why don't they have?
Because they're kind of cute when they're small, but
Yes.
they get kind of ugly when they grow.
Well, they can eat it.
And sell pig skin for leather, apparel, and accessories.
Great. Ivan, just one idea. Other people. Okay, guys. Yes.
So going off of the village tourism, my idea was adopt a turopolska svinja. So turopolska svinja
The
is
black ones.
they're very important in keeping our biodiversity. And
Yes.
so if you have a
Biologist here.
Yes. If you're having kind of an ecotourism situation, you can have these pigs roaming freely. You get customers to get excited about them and get emotionally attached to them, and then they
And then you
adopt
eat them.
turopolska svinja. Well, you can probably use the young for meat at the local restaurant or something
Can
like that.
kids
But the young
ride them?
Maybe. I actually put that down.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Another one.
I had commercial pig farm and also in a petting zoo.
Cool. Silvio.
Well, 2 ideas already people said, so that's racing pigs and selling small pigs as
Pets.
yes. And the obvious is selling meat. But I had another idea, renting pigs, for example, to manure farms.
Yes. Somebody else? A very innovative one? Very different one? Yes?
Rainbow with pigs.
Sorry?
Instead of the regular animal, we use pig food as animal. So we have 2 teams. One are pig team, the other one is human team, and the pigs are chasing him. And here and there we throw in the wild pig. Leopard. I'm concerned more with, no, I'm not that. I'm more concerned with animal rights.
Awesome. I have been, give you this example, and people come out with crazy ideas. But there was also a very good example. In jails, people are using dogs for therapy. Because people are there and they came with this idea of using pigs. Because pigs are smart. And they can be a very good company for ex-convicts or convicts. That's a social purpose and it's a business. So, anything else?
I just have like mud racing with pigs. So drunk people do a lot of things. So if you put in one pool a lot of mud and pig, so people can wrestle with the pigs. I also got like pig racing, and trained the pigs for sniffing narcotics and explosives.
You see, I mean, yeah, they have. If they can find they can find drugs, I guess. Okay, cool guys. So there is not. Yes, one more.
We could maybe make a video live stream of a pig farm with like 10 pigs or whatever, and make people bet what one pig will do.
Big brother pigs. Okay, thank you very much. So there is no lack of ideas, so that's awesome. It's really cool. There is just a lack of opportunities where you can apply and get these awards. No? Here it is with the student. Okay, guys, this was our peak exercise. So business models, and I haven't even touched the topic of business models, but business models starts with an idea. Who has been in this coffee which is called Udboristu? You have been there. You can probably notice Mattia, the owner, cool guy. He offered in the past. I don't know if he already does it. So we talked about new ideas. This is about an idea that is already working, but he just analyzed his business model and said, hey, I can offer something different. I have a cafe, but I can just offer something different. And what Mattia is offering is, he loves coffee. I'm a coffee lover. I'm coming from a coffee land. And I like very much good taste of coffee, not fine coffee. But good coffee, so gourmet coffee, and you can still, you can already find it in a couple of places in the city, and Mattia is one of these places. He asked for a couple of more kunas for a coffee which is called chemic. It's a filtered coffee, and he explains to you. So this is his place. So he went from a coffee drinking place to a drinking experience space. You cannot see very well here, but this is the chemics. Glass-made kind of container. You put a filter there. So he's measuring. He's measuring the time. He tells you about the temperature shouldn't be above 95 degrees. He tells you where the coffee is coming from, and you enjoy a good cup of coffee after this small, very 5 minutes preparation talk, and then you pay 2 kuna extra. So it's an interesting thing because I go for the experience. I was also, it's not only about new ideas like the pigs, but it's also about current ideas making it better. So when you're applying, you don't have to be the most innovative. Actually, innovation it's copy from something else and adapting it to a new business model. That's what basically innovation is. I was in this other place. Actually, I couldn't enter. It's a normal business salon. It's a barber shop. You go there. It's in the center, close to Smartup. It's called Jack Barber Shop or so. So you enter to this place. You have heard about it, Edith? No?
Yeah.
You enter to this place, and this guy gives you a glass of scotch. What? They cut my hair. Yes, but they care about you. You have been there, guys? They care. So you can enter there. They receive you with a glass of scotch, and then they only cut your hair. But they give you this experience, and they call it pop-up barbershop. What does that mean? They do not open in the mornings. They open. It's called pop-up because I don't even think that they have a license, but they open around 5. And it's a very alternative thing. Good music. They have DJs in the evening. So and they cut your hair, and they just charge a little bit more because of the experience, and they have to cover the cost of the scotch, of course. But you go there because it's a nice place. It's a bit hipsterish for me, but it's about the experience. So it's an idea. They took a felices and make it different. You know, anybody can do that. Just need to think about it. So, business models. Now, we're going to write again. Take another post-it and write down what is for you the definition of business models. Yeah, whatever comes to your mind, just put it in one post-it, please. Take 2 minutes. What's business models? Or business model for me? I didn't ask his business plan, but I asked business model. Whatever you think that is, just write it down. Completely still, because I'm very far. I'm just going to move it here. I want to put it there. Business models. Business models for me is Tritochka. You have it?
Not yet.
Okay. 1 more minute. Okay. Mate, right?
Me?
Yes. Yes, you tell me. What is a business model for you?
I'm Josip.
Josip, sorry.
Yes, doesn't matter. For me, business model is like a plan for your business, all the benefits and all the downsides of your business.
So, pros and cons. Okay. Martin? Yes, tell me. What's for you business model?
Nothing different, very much.
Sorry?
So a plan with pros and cons, like...
What else?
Search for a customer who will...
Yes, you need the customer, right?
For that.
Sorry?
For a customer who will use their...
So, who is going to buy it? Who is going to consume? Okay. Anybody else? What business models is? Yes, Victor?
Plan of converting more types of resources that you have into more specific set of resources in larger quantity. Like we use people, brain power, less money to gain more money.
So, human resources, you know, all these things that you need as resources to run an organization, I guess. Yes. Okay, yes?
I would add interaction.
Interaction?
Yeah.
Explain more.
Defining interaction between a seller and a customer.
Aha, you know what that's called? Market fit. Have you heard about lean startup? Lean approach? Okay, market fit is okay, knowing exactly what they need so you can adapt your value proposition. That's market fit. So it's about interactions, it's about knowing them, no? Knowing who? Customers. Where are the customers? Okay, yes?
Converting users to customers.
Oh my god, you're too advanced with this thing. Converting users to customers. So, from users to customers. Any girl can tell something?
I don't know anything about economics, but
I didn't know anything. I didn't say economics. I'm here with this.
I think that the values that you found your business on are very important. From our side, whether you are going to be organic or commercial, it's going to affect everything else in your business model.
So characteristics of your product, will it be okay? Of your offer, huh? But also you touch upon something values, maybe the mission, the vision of your idea. Yes?
I think that good business model needs to have clear goals. And deep market research.
Oh my God. Market research. Clear market research. Is anybody from you? Is anybody from Sadar? No? ¿Cómo está?
Way of making money.
Way of making money. Okay. How to make money? Way of making money. Anybody else? Something different?
Maybe measuring the progress.
Measuring progress. I have to tell you something. I have been given this for already like 2-3 years. One more. Tell me more.
So, I mentioned the most important thing, and it's the business models are about leadership.
What do you mean with leadership?
Well,
you have to be a leader to open a company?
What?
You have to be a leader to open a company, or what do you mean about leadership?
No, in traditional sense, you don't have to. I'm not meaning about the traditional sense of leadership.
Okay.
But to be an entrepreneur means that you have that you need a vision and a mission, and that you have to lead with.
I understand. Yes. So taking the lead, being the front runner, like really making something different that probably people will follow. Is that the thing?
Yeah. Cool. The second thing is sustainability.
Making money, but also about, it's not only about making money, it's about where are you going to be in 5 years. It has to do with sustainable business models, right?
Yeah, but no, it's not only about business sustainability, but also environmental sustainability.
So it's about the environment. Will it be about the society too?
Yes.
Anybody else before I continue? You were kidding. I can go on and on. Last chance.
Product and customer development.
So market research and market fit. We covered. Thank you. Now I'm gonna talk. Thank you very much. So I've been. So first I told you about Sadar. I was doing this workshop in Sadar, around 23 persons, and they didn't give so many things very diverse. Each one of your answers were actually different. Well, some, a couple of them, but you already mentioned very important components here. And in Sadar, they, for any reason, couldn't give it like that big. It's not good or bad, but it's just, I'm just telling you the difference. Second thing I wanted to tell you, you see, you bombarded me with a lot of things. But then, let's explore what is business models. Everything which is written down there, the things that you told me, have to do with business models. When I was starting my first activity or opening an organization or a business around 7 years ago, I just Googled business models, enter a lot of things, and you couldn't what is exactly a business model? I didn't want to do a business plan. I knew what a business plan was, but I didn't want to do it. So I wanted to explore something different, and then I came across a book which is called Business Model Generation, which this piece of paper that you have is based on. And they talk about business models, and they have a very clear definition about what business models is. And this is coming from that book. Business models is something very, very, very simple. So, a business model describes how So it's two things. How, what, an organization, what, 13, creates, delivers, and captures value. I call it the triple, the two C's and D's. So, create, deliver, and captures. And then the last one, which is the most important thing. Sorry? The last one is how an organization creates, delivers, and captures what? Value. Value. So, yes?
What do you mean the capture?
We will explain that. Thank you very much. So, I didn't say how a for-profit. I didn't say how an NGO. I didn't say how a Sadruga, Udruga, DO, or PG. I said how an organization, which can be almost whatever, how eSTUDENT is an organization, they should have a business model. Impact Upside, our organization, has a very simple and well-defined business model. But I say how an organization, what? Creates, delivers, and captures the last component, value. Because everything at the end is value. Remember when I told you in the beginning, it's ideas. If you're going to start an organization, or if you want to become an entrepreneur, or even a freelancer. Freelancers are entrepreneurs because they do their own stuff. It's about solving problems. It's about tackling a problem in the society. It's about giving solutions. So that's about the value that you are creating. Doubts? Any questions except that one? Because I want to explain. No, okay, so I'm going to explain now. Business model is also about value proposition, because everything is, okay, how do you capture, create and deliver value? So you have to have a value proposition. The value proposition is the offer, and I will explain more in detail. And also, a business model has to do with, you see it, you mentioned there, resources. You mentioned, human resources. What do you need to build? You need to pay salaries. You need human resources. You need know-how. But it's also about the sustainability of the model. And sustainability doesn't only mean cash flow, profit. It also means in the society the impact that you are going to make, because you do not want to also, open an organization that is just going to make profit. Hopefully what you want to do is open an organization that are also delivering something positive, not only for you as a salary, but for your family, for somebody else, and that has to do with saving the environment or the society. It also has to do with processes. Somebody said about, what is the pros and cons? It has to do with knowing the market. And knowing the market is defining who your users, your customers are. It has to do with, goals. It has to do with, business models. Business models can touch upon values and can touch upon different things that you care, but those are defined, not exactly in your business model, but those are defined before. When you're starting an organization, and this is, I give these workshops I have a workshop for 1 year, for 1 day, another for half a day, and this is the crash course. So, before you start a business model of your idea, you have to start thinking about what your mission will be with your organization, even before you develop your business model. And we're going to touch upon a little bit later. So that has to do with the mission, vision, right? And then, after knowing that, then you will build your business model. So, I'm going to explain now all these components that have to do with how do you create, deliver, and capture value right now. The first one, it's about user segments. And I'm using the business model canvas to explain all of these. And those are 9 building blocks that you have in front of you. The guys from eSTUDENT are super proactive that they give it to you already, but I didn't want that. But it will help you because you already have it in front of you. So, you will have it there. So I'm going to explain these 9 building blocks. So I wouldn't like you guys to spend time on reading, but rather listening. I hope that I can transfer better what I wanted to say. So you don't have to do it, you are going to use it later. So the first element of a business model, and I told you about 9, is user. It's not even what are you doing. I mean, that's the next one. So the first one is who the hell is going to buy what you are producing? Who is going to benefit from what you are offering in your value proposition? And they are here. So they are your user segments or customer segments. You can define it what you want, but those are the guys. If I went to this specific salon, I'm a user because I want them to cut my hair. So I'm a user. I'm a consumer of these products. If you remember this company from Rijeka that I mentioned, Servus, they build this hardware. Users are people on wheelchairs. They are the ones. Who will the users of Roda be? Remember Roda?
Parents.
Who?
Parents.
Are parents wearing?
No, but they're the ones buying them.
True. So we have two things here. Parents are the ones taking the decision on buying, therefore they are customers. And the users and potentially, customers, if we define customers, the ones that pay you, are not the children, but children are users. So children and parents should be here because they are receiving your value proposition. Your value proposition are non-disposable clothes diapers. That's what Roda sells. Roda has also something very interesting, which is a forum. Later, if you're going to be mothers and also fathers, then you will have a lot of questions. Like I had some 2 years before my daughter was born. I didn't know anything, of course. First time parent. And my wife, who is a Christian, she went to the Roda forum. And Roda forum is also part of the value proposition because they give information. I wouldn't be the one taking the decision on paying the diapers if I wouldn't know how positive. And because I'm an engineer, I did the math and I say that's less expensive, let's buy it. So they have to educate you before. That's why they have this education. And education in Roda, it's also part of the next thing, which is value proposition here. So Roda have products. They sell diapers, non-disposable. They also offer you access to a community, right? What's the value proposition of Mattia from Food Polish?
Natural products, cook.
Coffee is a natural product, yes. What else? They sell coffees. They sell experience. So she's touching upon two things. Value proposition is divided in two things. Value proposition is you are living.
There is actually another workshop on start contest.
Yes.
We need to go there. I'll be there, but
okay. Yeah, I'm gonna try and then you. Okay, yes. You too. Yeah. It's directly. No worries. Okay, so value proposition of Mattia, they sell coffee. Coffee is what they sell. Those are the products. Coffee. They just recently expanded and they are selling now croissants and they are selling also coffee for your house. So you can buy these bags and you put it in your filter. But they also sell something interesting, which is experience. So these two things that I mentioned of value proposition are the products and the services, but also the characteristics of it. Is it cheaper? Is it affordable? Is it faster? Is it what? Okay? And it's in a shape of a gift because this is exactly what you are giving to your customers. Questions? Very straightforward, very easy. You guys understand by now, it's just super easy. These models are not complicated. Third thing is, how on earth are you going to take the hardware from my friend from Rijeka, Servus, to the guys they are now selling in Germany? You are also living. Yes. Who else living? So how these guys are taking the Servus hardware to the customers in Germany? How do you think they are? Online. So they are using a platform that's a channel. This is channels. What else did you say?
I said like FedEx, like some post service.
They are partnering with the distribution company there, and they are shipping it with this distribution company locally, locally located in Germany. So those are the communication channels. What is the communication channel of Roda?
The version
The forum is one, they go to the website, and then they sell, the shop, the online shop is here. They also open a new shop in Ilica, and that's a communication channel, because you go there, and then you know about the...
But that's a really weak communication channel.
Sorry?
That's a really weak communication channel.
But it's a communication channel still, right? What other communication channels do you think they have? Commercials?
There's a difference. The shop is a logistical channel and the forum is a communication.
Exactly, and now you are very well defining difference, within the communication channels. Communication channels can be a lot of things. It can be a Facebook page. It can be an advertisement in TV channel. It can be a billboard. It can be whatever. So communication channel basically means how are you going to take your products to them? How are you going to place them in the mindset? How are you going to ship them? So it's physically, how are you going to get this product? How do you take this thing to them? But also how do you position? Those are communication channels, okay? And it's easy. Then the fourth one is customer relationships. This is a tricky one. How do you know that, if you go to Body Shoe, how do you know that I like the experience as a customer?
Because you came. Because Mattia see my face. Because I smile, or I like, what a bad coffee. So that's person to person. So the customer relationships has to do with how are you going to capture the feedback from your customers. It can be person to person. How does Roda know that I like what they are producing? Pay more.
Sorry?
Pay more money. They're
buying more. Yes, sales can tell you about it. It's not always correlated with that, but it tells you about it. So customer relationships or user relationships there has to do with how on earth are you going to now know that you are doing that you are producing something good for somebody. Facebook, for example, is a communication channel, but it's also a communication channel for you to know the user experience, because in Facebook they will tell you that's a shitty product or that's an awesome product. So you will capture that. What other ways of capturing the value or the reactions or the feedback of customers can be? Yes?
Asking them directly.
Surveys, questionnaires. Have you bought in Consum? Of course they have, right? Have they asked about this card before you pay? Yes. Everything. So why do they have this card?
More information.
To know about you, more information. So they want to know your consumption patterns. They want to know how much beer, if you're a student, are getting on a Friday night or not. So they can adapt their commercials, they can adapt the advertisement. That's a way of knowing you. That's a very intrusive thing, to be honest. But it's a way of knowing you. A lot of companies use that. Do you know frequent miles from these cards? Mm-hmm. If you are traveling, you have these frequent miles. That's also a way of knowing you. That's also something that can be in this part. So it's everything that you will need. Everything that you will do in order for you as an organization to know the customer better. It can be a survey, it can be whatever. Any more ideas about this?
Online reviews.
Online reviews, this rating system, for example. Okay, good. Now, of course, revenue streams. It's not the most important, but that's very important for the sustainability of your business. You need income, you need money. What if you are an NGO? What if your organization, what if your idea is a non-for-profit? Are revenues still important? Yes. Or not?
So you can
Why?
continue to work.
Sorry?
To continue to work that non-profit.
Every NGO should also see the side of the revenues, because you need income. Either you see it as, who is from business here? Economics? You know about revenues. You know about accounting maybe a little bit, about income. So you have to have money entering. And also if you are not from these faculties, it's important for you to understand. If you are running an organization, you need money in your pocket or in your account, because you cannot continue your organization. And even NGOs, even non-for-profit organizations need to understand that side. If you are a for-profit, and that's the difference. Profit is different than revenue. Revenue is everything that enters, or income, everything that enters your account in order to continue. Profit is the difference between revenues and costs. You know? The difference is profit is pretty obvious, no? So you have to know how your organization is going to make money. How does Roda makes money? How? We sell. Okay, let me see. Okay. Let me tell you one. How does Facebook make money? Advertisement. Okay, good. Give me something different. Give me any organization. Sorry? How? Different how? We make money by asking for membership fees. We also rent the space. We also receive grants. We also look for donations. We also give workshops like this. But since we are partners, we give it. Yeah. Cool. Then value streams. That's the part. Okay. Value stream, income, revenue. It's monetary. It's a monetary, tangible thing. It's money. We can also think about and talk about non-monetary things that are positive. Remember these girls from Czech Republic, Paraguayans, homeless. How do they make money? Okay, they ask for a fee. Tourists pay a fee. They are also doing team building with companies and they ask for a fee. But a non-monetary, very important value to the society, value because it's in that side, it's they train homeless. Homeless are empowered. Homeless have self-esteem. They might not be able to buy a house, but they are not asking for money or begging. So they have a little bit of an income. And that's a very important part because it's not only about you paying your salary while running your organization, but giving homeless an opportunity to become or be human beings. Okay, that's the right side of an organization. And the right side of an organization tells you about what is happening externally. So what do you see as a customer? You see how much is the price tag, you see the communication channels, you see all these things, you interact with organizations as a customer. That's the right side. The left side, guess what? It has to do with what's happening in the backstage. So, you mentioned about certain things here. Resources, right? Who said resources? They left? Who said resources? Okay, Victor. What do you think is a resource of Roda?
Resource?
Yes.
Textile industry. Missing. They get a resource from textile industry.
Great.
They made the type.
Great. Humana Nova also needs textile and leftovers from the textile. Remember, Chacovets, they recycle. They hire people with disabilities. They recycle the textile and they make products. They make items like dresses, bags, T-shirts. Whatever, cases for fences. Key resources is the time, of course. What other key resource can be? People. They need human resources, right? They need people to make these bags or to make the diapers. What the human resource what the resource from Servus will it be? Remember this hardware piece of thing?
Software as well.
Software. Human resources making electronics. Okay? The software or the coding part, the programming part, which is a process, is the next thing. It's a key activity. Right? If you're a designer, know-how is a resource. Cool. Know-how is a resource. But the way you do it is an activity. So, of course, you say software. Know-how is important. If you don't know, if you have a company that have a... Yeah, bad example. I was going to say German wings. If you have Croatian Airlines, and if you don't have pilots, you cannot have a company. So pilots they know how to fly. They don't crash like German wings, but they know how to fly. And the human resources pilots are here, but the knowledge of how to fly it's an activity. Okay? So activities, for example, companies that are very much customer oriented, that are about sales. Selling, it's a very important activity. That's That's a key activity here. So key activities and key resources are the key things. You can mention about top 3 things in each one of these 2 elements that you will need to get your value proposition to these guys. Very straightforward, very easy. Next thing is key partners. Key partners are all of those organizations, people, whatever, entities that will help you to fill gaps. Sellers, they sell in Germany. They are partnering with a local distribution company. That's a partner because they cannot create, they are a startup, they cannot create a distribution company, but they partner with one. Yeah? Roda is selling, Humana Nova is selling, they have I think an e-shop. So, and I don't know, maybe if they will be using PayPal, that's a partner, because they use PayPal. They don't have their own getaway payment online. I mean, let's choose PayPal. PayPal is a partner. Okay? Easy, no? The last one is about value streams. So, if from one side we had the costs, the revenues, and the positive values in the society, like the homeless example. On the other side, you need money to pay salaries. You need to pay your electricity. You need to pay different things that you will need in your company, in your organization, to continue. That's the costs part. No? It's very easy. So, what is the definition of business models? How an organization creates. What are your human resources? What are your key resources? How do you create these? What kind of activities you will need? So, how an organization creates, how an organization delivers the value. How do you capture also the value? And capturing value is by feedback, but it's also by money. A monetary payment of what you are selling is the way you capture value. Value can be defined as a monetary, in a monetary sense or a non-monetary sense. How does the girls capture value from Pragulitz, the homeless example? By training the homeless. They have to have metrics. They have to evaluate them. Because that's also, homeless is one of the key resources. But they are also, this is interesting. Do you think homeless are also here? Well, yes, because they are the recipients of the value. The value that the Pragulis girls are giving is not only about offering tours. But if you see the business model, I had this opportunity to be with them 2 years ago in this social impact award in Hub Vienna. They asked me as a mentor, and I met them 2 years ago. And we were defining the business model of them, like very quickly there. And they put in the business, in the center, the value proposition, they put tours, team building, but also training, education. So, who are the recipients of the value? Tourists, but also homeless. Okay? Are there questions now? Yes?
So where does the information about the customer fit in? Into resources or it's
here?
Yeah.
So, who is your customer? Now I'm going to see examples. Those are the business models, 9 building blocks. Now it gets interesting. Let's see examples. Facebook. Let's review Facebook. Okay, what is the value proposition of Facebook? What do they offer?
Social.
They offer a social network, right? They offer, this is from 2 years ago, they offer around 600 million people. The value proposition is actually connectivity, networking. That's the value proposition of them. How do they take the value proposition to them? What are the communication channels? They only have Facebook.com. That's awesome, no? Facebook, and everybody knows. Even Facebook has been added to dictionaries. Like, in Spanish, it's how do you say? Let's go to Facebook. Sorry?
I just want to say that maybe it was more important before it exploded, like global.
Exactly. Now everybody knows it, and it's easier.
What were the communication channels before?
They were in the beginning giving some sponsorships. of course, yeah. But now this is a mature, that's right, this is a mature company, and I wanted to give this very mature company so it's a little easier to understand. But indeed, in the beginning, they probably give some sponsor. They probably sponsor a hackathon. Or they probably, they started in a big university. So, okay, so what, now, you answer your question, Eddie, right? Are the information of the customers, where are they? Okay, it's here. They have different customer segments. They have divided, the first one is actually everybody with a connection to internet can potentially, not all of them. My parents are not on Facebook and they have internet. So anybody who would like to, with internet, who would like to become a social, who would like to be part of a social network, then they can become members. The second is small, medium enterprises. They are using, I bet eSTUDENT is using Facebook for you to know about this workshop. That's a communication channel, but that's also very important for them. And they are a small organization. We, Impact of Cyber, use a lot of Facebook. We pay ads from time to time, not really very often. I really hate that. Because you don't get the level of engagement that you want, but for marketing purposes, that helps. And a lot of SMEs, small medium enterprises, are using it. Who else is a customer segment? Developers. Candy Crush, what's the name of this thing? Farmville. All these things. Developers make money if they put it there. Facebook pays them, or they get money from a fee, whatever. But this is also part of the customer segments of Facebook. Okay, how do they make money? You say it very right. Ads. What is the cost structure? What do they have to pay as a cost? Servers, maintenance. Cool. Next, key resources. Sorry? Human resources. They need smart people. They need technology. Very important thing here. Brand. Facebook is such a big brand that is already a key resource. Right? Coca-Cola is a key resource, a brand. FedEx, whatever big corporates have already branding as a key resource. Key partners. Facebook developers, obviously. Right? Maybe the government if they want to sell information. Okay, that's an example. Questions about this? It's easy, straightforward. Should we see another example? Cool. It's not Germanwings, but EasyJet. Do you know EasyJet? No. Okay. EasyJet is like Germanwings, but EasyJet is a low-fare company. Ryanair. Yes. Okay, it's the same. Ryanair, EasyJet, Germanwings. There are more. Boeing in Spain, and there are more small low-fare companies. EasyJet. What's the value proposition of EasyJet? What do they sell? Cheap tickets. Yes, cheap travel. It's actually tickets. So they have low-cost flight tickets. Very straightforward. That's what they sell. But they also sell other things. Do you pay for coffee when you go from here to London via EasyJet? Yes, you actually pay. You pay for everything.
It's extra cost.
Exactly. So extra services. If you want a cup of coffee from Starbucks and you are traveling from here to, I don't know, Paris, and you want coffee, then you will pay Starbucks coffee because they partner with Starbucks. They are a partner, so they make a fee. They pay Starbucks, but they don't charge you. If the coffee was 20 kuna, they charge you 22, and they keep this 2, and they give 22 Starbucks or whatever the deal would be. But that's a way of also that's a value. That's part of the value proposition. They also offer you extra services. If you go to EasyJet website, they will ask you before you accept your trip or before you pay, they ask you, would you like me to offer you a hotel? Would you like me to offer you a taxi? Have you seen that? So they offer you also that thing. So how do they make money? It's very easy. They charge for tickets. They also get this extra fee. So tell me other partners that they have. Starbucks. Other partners.
Car rentals, restaurants, coffee shops.
And so forth. So, what is the cost structure? What do they have to pay? You have an airline, you pay the fleet, you pay human resources, you pay pilots, you pay insurance, they own, fuel, benzina, and then you pay, they own a warehouse in Luton, UK, so they have to pay there. They pay a lot of taxes, by the way, as well. They pay rights to be in different areas. What else important here? Yeah. How do you think what are the communication channels? They have a website, but they also have in every airplane EasyJet.com. That's a communication channel as well. Okay? Questions? It's becoming very boring because it's very easy, no? Okay. This is the hub. Let's explore eSTUDENT. Yes. Do you know about eSTUDENT? This is not eSTUDENT. Do you know about eSTUDENT? It's a student organization. What is the value proposition of student organizations like this? What do they offer to you?
Offer experience and new opportunities.
New opportunities like this contest?
Experience, new knowledge.
Connection. Great. That's all the value proposition. What kind of products or services they have? Sorry?
This is a product.
This is one very specific product because they offer you access to knowledge and content. Partners, I might probably be here, right? Impact Outside is a partner of them. Proyectura, and the other partners they have. So, I say it's revenues for an NGO. Do you think they make money? Or how do they run these activities?
Maybe they get funded by governments.
Maybe they get subsidies, I don't know. Tommy can tell us how do they run it. Maybe they get grants. Maybe you get sponsors. Okay, so I know that this pro bono is based on volunteers. They don't pay, so far I think they don't pay themselves a salary, but they need money. If there is going to be a coffee break, it's not like they put from their pocket, but they ask, maybe yes, but they ask a sponsor, Nescafe or Franco or whatever, or Matia from Budvarishno, to give these sponsors to you, right? So that's this part of it. Costs, I already mentioned, maybe coffee breaks, maybe restaurants, maybe, value proposition or an offer, a product is Smartup as a product. And they get money to give you later on this award. Okay? How do they, this is interesting, remember here, this part, user relationships? Do you think they have some kind of user relationships? eSTUDENT? Yes? No? Do they have a Facebook page? Okay, then you can post there. Hermes, your workshop sucks. Or something else. Okay, guys. Let's see the last one before we start working and leave for a break. We're gonna go in a break in some minutes. But if you want to join the other workshops, so 15 more minutes or 20, let's see. Let's explore this last one. You know Taxi Cameo, you know the other taxis. That's very, very, very easy. So let's just review two things from this. Value proposition of Taxi Cameo. What do they offer you? Taxi services. Yes. Do they offer you something different? No?
Yes.
What?
They spin around instead of the usual radio taxi where you never know what you're going to get. They sort of have a standardized uniform taxi.
It's a quality service. It's above the. Yesterday took a taxi from my house to I don't know where I was at, and it was Radio Taxi versus Taxi Cameo, and the Radio Taxi was thinking, where's like guys? Why Taxi Cameo even called me for this taxi is going to be there. Long time ago, I noticed in other Taxi Cameo that you can get cigarettes inside. Have you seen this? Cigarettes.
No.
And that's Taxi Cameo also had internet, I think.
Yes, they have like proposals.
Exactly. You are a tourist, you don't want to pay roaming, but you have your mobile phone, and then you can text somebody by WhatsApp via taxi. You can tell your mother, I arrived safely, or other things. So it's not only about, you see, why Taxi Cameo had to do these things. They opened the service, I think, 2 years or 3 years ago. because there was only 1 or 2 taxi lines, and Taxi Cameo had quite a lot of. You know Uber? Let's explore that. I like that. What is the value proposition of Uber? Okay, who doesn't know Uber? Okay, who knows Uber? Explain the rest of the guys. What's Uber?
Uber is a service where the goods that are, in this case, cars, are used more often than they would be if only one person used them. I mean, one car usually spends 99% of idling, nobody drives them, and in this case the car is, as a resource, is used a lot more.
So Joseph owns a car, and I came to Croatia. Uber is not yet here. So Joseph has a car, and I go to my mobile phone, and I get my mobile phone, okay, Uber, and I see, okay, what are the taxis or the cars available, and I see Joseph's car, and he is driving from where I am to the center, and he's just very close by, so I book, Joseph, come and pick me up. And I use his car, because he's anyway going to the same place, and it happens at that time he's there, and I book it by my mobile application. And I go with him, and I start talking. He's not a taxi driver, but he's using a resource like a car, which is 95% of the time in Radio 99 Park. And he charged me, and I paid through Uber. That's what Uber means. Is that a cool thing? That's an awesome thing. So, what is the value proposition of Uber? Everybody can be a taxi driver, and everybody can get extra bucks in their pocket by using the car. So, less pollution, maybe more traffic, I don't know, or maybe more efficiency in the traffic network.
It's cheaper as well.
It's also cheaper than a taxi, and they have increased the level of security. So they have a screening process. Not anybody can be part of Uber. Potentially, they have a very good screening process. Depends on where they are. So Uber, that's what Uber is. So how does Uber makes money?
From fees.
They exactly. So I pay Joseph gets some money, but Uber gets a percentage of that amount that I pay. Like PayPal, you know, the transaction takes one fee. The same with Uber, and we can go on and on and on. But I want to tell you about this last. Before, what are the costs of Uber? I would like to go a little bit deeper. Servers, the application, regulations, they have to fight a lot, paperwork. Sorry? Salaries to their own Uber company, not for Joseph, right? Key resources of Uber. The API, you know about it? The software.
Is Joseph out resource?
It's a good question to tell me.
He's like his customer, he's not his customer. But he's also a resource.
But I will put him as a resource. Who will put it there too? I will put it. Or who wouldn't? It's very blurry, the line, but it's interesting. It's actually how you treat Joseph.
Well,
Joseph.
I also make money as well.
Yes, there's a customer.
So Joseph can be here, but can be also here, because if Joseph wouldn't offer, these guys are outsourcing the taxi drivers. So they are not using because he likes that, he makes money, and he's anyway using the car. So if he's not happy, he's a key resource. The car is a key resource. But Uber is an amazing concept because they don't have to pay maintenance. Joseph pays it. They don't have to own the car. Just owns it. What else is interesting here? Key partners. Yeah, I will also put this here as a key partner. Here it will be debatable. Like as a user, as a key resource, I don't know, but definitely as a partner and as a customer sector. Right? Cool. Let's review one more, and this I love it because it's complex enough. Maybe not that complex like Uber, but do you know about Kiva.org? Kiva. If you go to Kiva.org, Let's say I'm an entrepreneur from Latin America. Let's develop a country. I'm from Latin America anyway. Entrepreneur from Chiapas. Chiapas is a state in the south of Mexico which is poor. Not poorer than Lica, for example. But it's poor. They don't have a lot of money there, but they get entrepreneurs. And opposite to Croatia, they don't receive money, they don't have a job. So they have to make some money, either selling tacos in the corner, or selling whatever. But I'm an entrepreneur. I'm from Mexico, south of Mexico. I don't have money, but I can go to kiva.org to get a loan. And let's say you are wealthy Westerners from Croatia, and then let's see, Ivan has money. Ivan has a spare 200 euro. And he goes to Kiva because Ivan wants to give a loan to somebody. And he sees my profile in kiva.org and say, Hermes is doing a cool job. He just wants to open a grocery store. He has this cool idea, and I would like to lend him 200 euro. It's a loan, right? So he goes to kiva.org, and Kiva, it's lent to poor entrepreneurs. So he goes through Kiva. Ivan is here, gives Kiva money. Kiva gives to me in Mexico. Very easy. So we have a value proposition. They provide loans to poor entrepreneurs. But look at this. I am also a user segment. The same way as Ivan, because Ivan is giving this money, but I'm receiving the value from kiva.org. The value proposition is giving loans, but also, as Ivan receives my money later, he receives with a slightly small interest rate. Rather than putting this 200 euro in the bank, he will get it with a little bit more, a percentage bigger, because they ask for a slightly big percent, not big percent, 2, 3, 5% more interest rate. That's what I'm talking about. And he receives a little bit more money. So he is also here. Loans is what they are selling or giving, but the money that Ivan gives to me, it's given through kiva.org, but Kiva doesn't give it to me directly because Kiva is not in Mexico. Kiva is an organization in the States. But Kiva is partnering with local microfinance institutions like NGOs or small banks in Mexico. And Kiva gives this money that was received from Ivan to this local microfinance institution. Why? Because these microfinance institutions knows me. Because I know this NGO. Because I'm working in a way with this NGO doing other stuff. That's why Kiva uses them in order to screen people, in order to know who they are, in order to understand who they will put in kiva.org website. They wouldn't put anything there, anybody there, but rather people with good ideas, somebody who is doing something amazing and in a really big need. So, local microfinance institutions are a way of, it's part of the communication channel. The communication channel is kiva.org, but also the local microfinance institutions, because the money goes to them, right? What else we have here? So how do they make money? Like PayPal, like Uber, they ask a fee. And they also ask for donations. If Ivan says, okay, I have this 200, but because they will ask you at the end before you pay or before you transfer this money, would you like to make a donation to kiva.org? Okay, yeah, I have this spare 5 euro more. 205 euro goes there. 5 euro, Kiva keeps it, and 200 goes to as a point. Huh? Minus a fee, maybe 1%, 2%. So that's the way Kiva makes money, and that's the way Kiva makes money to run what? Okay, all this cost structure that we will have, and I will explain later after Key Resources. Key Resources is the website, is the platform. Without the website, that would be very difficult, because every transfer is online. Everything, my profile as a poor entrepreneur is in Kiva. Ivan can go there and look to the entrepreneurs there. Key activities, remember, managing the platform is a key activity. If kiva.org is down, Kiva will lose money. If it gets hacked, then Kiva loses money. Risk management. Risk management is very important. Screening microfinance institutions. That process of screening, so screening, you know what screening is? It's really assessing who the good NGOs are there. Because they are a key partner, and one of the key activities is screening these key partners, who, by the way, are also communication channels. You see the connections, you see where they are? So at the end of the day, we have only 9 building blocks, but in one building block one building block can have elements that can be in different blocks, like our microfinance institutions here. They are here. Like Kiva, like Joseph, could be in different building blocks. So cost structure, of course, they have to pay the platform maintenance, they have to pay this screening process, they have to send people to Mexico to evaluate and assess this microfinance institution. So those are costs. Are there questions? Was that difficult? Complicated? Yes, no? You have questions?
I don't know how to phrase it.
Please, try.
So, we're biologists, we're
Yes.
researchers.
Yes.
Where does research fit into business models? So, I mean, we're part of the cost because you pay us to do the research for you. We're research and development, but...
Let's make okay, that's a good question. Are universities organizations? Yes. Mm-hmm. Can we make, every organization has to have a business model. So let's review a university's business model, okay? What does universities sell? Education, content. If a university have a department, a laboratory, they have laboratories, right? They also sell services, okay? So value proposition is services and also education, different things, no? How does universities make money? Do you pay for a tuition fee? You don't pay probably, but it's being paid by your taxes, by my taxes, if the government doesn't put it here. Then, potentially, my tax. Somebody at the end of the day have to pay for something. So even though you don't pay a tuition fee, that money comes from your parents' taxes, from my taxes, from your taxes when you go and pay some bills. You pay 25% in PDD. That goes a fraction to pay university costs. Okay? What else do they make money? Laboratories charge for services. If I have a piece of land and I want this land to get analyzed, because I want to know, I'm a farmer, I want to know these characteristics of the land, I send it to the Faculty of Agriculture. They analyze it because they have a laboratory, and they ask for a fee. I pay a fee as a farmer. These research institutions or laboratories make money by asking a fee. If you are doing research in this university, and if you are a PhD student or a master's degree student, do you think... That's a tricky question. Let me frame it. In some universities, I don't think it happens in Croatia, but in some universities, normal universities, when you do research, you know it, guys. When you are a researcher and you have a postdoc or you are doing your PhD, normally you are doing to answer questions for the pharmaceutical companies or for the industrial organizations, because they pay to universities or research centers to make research out of whatever. And that research is being sold to whoever is paying for. So if you are doing a PhD, you want your degree. You are a researcher. Potentially your information is going to be valuable because you are producing know-how. You are publishing a paper that will be useful for the benefit of the society. It's scientific research. And that scientific research is being paid by customers such as the industrial sector or pharmacy or whatever, education, whatever would like to know something. And at the end of the day, you are using resources and costs have to be paid by the university itself. Again, from to pay your research, It might come from my taxes, or it might come from the industry, or from donations. World Bank give money to research and development, for example. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, I guess, well, in Croatia, because the government is such an unreliable entity, I guess my interest is, how to make science, how to get paid from the private sector for research, I guess.
That's an idea. For example, Croatia is very tricky. But normally, know-how has a value, and you just need to find who will pay for that value that you generate. So it's at the end the same. You are producing a value which is know-how, which is a research paper, and you consider that important, then you can sell it to somebody. Now, there are ethical things here. I did a master's degree in Holland, and my master's degree thesis was answering a very simple question of a company in Colombia. I went to Colombia, and I did my master's degree. They answer very negatively the questions that the company in Colombia has. The company in Colombia wanted to know if by producing this, I did a master in environmental economics. I don't want to enter into many details, but the question was, am I going to pollute a lot or not if I'm producing this thing in Colombia? They asked, and I say, I can give you an answer by doing my master's degree. I did a master's degree, and I proved that what they were doing was going to be very costly for the environment and for the society. They, of course, didn't like it. But who cares? That's my master's degree. And I wanted to really answer very ethically that thing. And I say, with a rationale behind, with the background of everything, and I told them. And I get this research paid by me, my university, not by them. Hopefully. But that's, when you put a tag on scientific research, a price tag, then it becomes very... how do you think Monsanto or whatever other pharmaceutical company, they might have their own research institutes, they have. But when they start paying for that, then the incentives are not aligned, and there are power relations, and then you can change the results for the benefit of whoever is paying. So it's very tricky, but at the end of the day, that's a public good. Knowledge, research is a public good. The cost should not necessarily only come, the payment of this cost should not only come from institutions, from pharmaceutical companies or the industry. It should come from the government because it's a public good. But we can enter into those discussions. With this, I want to cut. We have 10 minutes until 4. If you want to disappear, it's okay for me. But the next part, before you go for a break, it's about building your own business model. And it will be interactive, and I want to be here to help you out. Okay? 10 minutes, break.